Hello everyone, we finally copped what seems to be a beautiful morning at the very least. So I thought what I'll do is I'll tackle this window. So what we're going to do today is remove this window, reseal, clean it up, reseal it and put it back in. And just like with the Millard and my previous videos, it's pretty much the same process. What you need to do is inside drill out the pop rivets that are supporting these window frames. If you wanted to take the window frames out first, of course. What I'm probably going to do, these are perspex, so they might not weigh much. So I might actually try to take the entire window out without having to, at this point in time, take these out, although I'm going to have to drill them out anyway. So the idea is, if you drill them out, yes, you remove them. After that, you take all of these screws out and you just gently pry the entire window out. Right, all the screws have now been removed. So the next step is to start removing the window. One of the great things about this caravan is the shallow profile. You can see here, unlike the Millard's actually got quite a severe profile here, the depth, and as a result it makes it harder to seal, but in this case it's actually quite good. So the idea is to gently start doing that and separating it from the cladding. Obviously the danger here is you don't want to damage the cladding, so you just find a weak spot like I have here and then slowly start applying a bit of pressure. Now underneath here is obviously the frame, so this is where you can apply the pressure that's running along the frame here. It's the old dry mastic, and you don't want to bend the window frame either. I thought I'd give you a bit more of a view. So it's almost like you start from one end and you work your way to the other. Sometimes that works well, and as soon as you kind of break that seal, you see here, as soon as you start breaking that seal, it makes it so much easier to then start prying that out. And as I said, you can see the window frame in there. It's almost, you can start peeling it out. So just breaking the seal a bit more here, boom, there we go. You see there's the frame moving there, and now this side's actually popping out as well. Okay, here we go. So yeah, it's just a matter of working your way around. And I think that's pretty close to removing it. The only thing is I'll need to climb the ladder and do the top bit here, just to make sure that's broken free. Okay, so the top, it's already started to break free here. Just need to crack the seal there. There we go. You can see how it just runs along. Mastic's all pretty much dried out, so it's not providing much adhesion. There we go. Right, and there's a little pop rivet there that's come off. Now I'll have to put another one in there. That one there survived, but anyway, that's all kind of maintenance stuff. Just making sure everything looks pretty good in there. Alright. Put this down here. Oops. That side. And that's it. Because we're going to clean this up quite nicely. This is what I was saying about not having to necessarily remove these. Obviously with a larger window, this entire frame will weigh quite a bit because of the glass. But irrespective, I've got to do that anyway because I want to pull each of these windows out to clean them up. So I'll still have to drill out these things and clean the frame up. But you can see here with the old butyl mastic, this is going to be so much easier to clean. It just kind of cracks out like that. So it's quite straightforward. And now if we go back to the window here, you will see there's a dry mastic there, and there isn't actually much in there. That's only almost like a very thin layer. And if you look at the top here, there's not much there either. So I wouldn't be surprised if, in fact, I suspected that this window was leaking anyway. Not much, and that's strange considering how little mastic there is. But then, as I said, the profile is very shallow. The cladding profile is very shallow, so it doesn't actually need much. So I'll go ahead and clean all this out gently with a scraper. The other thing I'm going to do too is this flashing here on the side. This one here, I'm going to drill out the pop rivets, pull this out, and also clean it up. And you can see inside here what a mess this is. I've actually started sanding all that. I've already sanded the front and I'm prepping everything else. Anyway, that's a sidetrack. So I'll start cleaning this up now and come back when it's clean. Just showing you here how I do this. This is actually quite easy. This is so dry that it's actually peeling off like that, almost leaving a perfectly clean base. So quite good. I'll have this cleaned up in no time. Okay, so I've taken the majority of the old mastic out. Obviously, I've still got to clean it up. But it's interesting here how that cladding obviously runs along the length. So we've got this cladding overlaying on that cladding, which is actually obviously the perfect design that you want for waterproofing. Next step is to remove this flashing here. I think that's what it's called, and that'll allow me access to the actual frame underneath it, and I'll be able to clean both the frame and this flashing quite nicely. So here you go, removing these flashings like that. So that's what we have. Okay, and I'll just continue doing the rest. Right, rivets are out, although that one there gave me grief, it's still there, but that's effectively the entire flashing there. And so now I'm able to come in here and clean that up and get rid of all the other stuff. Right, so I'm using a non-abrasive scourer with terps, just to see if I can get rid of a lot of the smaller items. You can see how it's cleaning it up nicely. Right. So just as with when I did the J rolls, we want this cladding to be nice and clean. So I've cleaned it as much as I could, bearing in mind that this profile makes it a bit more difficult to clean because you've got to clean in between some of these grooves here. Now it's not perfect, but it'll be fine, I think. A couple more pieces I can clean there. The top piece here is obviously the one that I'm more concerned about, because obviously rain coming down and also when driving coming across. And the frame is, I mean, the flashing is going to go on here, remember, anyway, so you're not going to be able to see this. But what's pretty impressive is the way they did the window frame. You can see in there they've cut. They've put cuts in the aluminium channel so they can get this radius happening. Quite neat, actually. Very neat. The Millard certainly doesn't have that. So at any rate, that's pretty much all I've got to do is just give it a wipe down with methylated spirits, and I think should be pretty good. Ready to go. Alright, so just removing these. You can see I've already drilled out the rivets. So I drill them out on all four sides. I just put these there. And now it's a matter of removing this end cap here. And once I've removed that one, this one's got a screw in there, I'm able to then slide the entire window out. As easy as that. That's one. That's it. So what I'll do is I'll concentrate on cleaning the windows. Well, that's a lot there. It's not too bad, is it? They've used this thing here.
That thing has to come out.
Yeah, we'll just replace that. And started to clean the back here. Alright, we'll continue on with cleaning. So what I'm aiming to do here is basically servicing these, fixing anything that's, these still work okay. So I'll keep those, and I've bought new washers that go between the moving components, and so I'll just service each one of these. So all the surfaces are clean. I'm not going to go all out at the moment with cleaning it. Weather's supposed to be changing this afternoon, so I just want to seal it, and it's looking pretty clean now. So as I mentioned before, the frame's now been cleaned. We've also put methylated spirits on it. The flashing has been cleaned. Hard to see, I know. And this has been cleaned as well. So now one of these rivets here which join these two has actually broken. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw in a little bit of butyl mastic in there and then pop rivet that back in. And then we'll start putting the frame in. So we'll apply the butyl mastic on the frame here, and I'll show you how we do that. Okay, so just putting that in there. Separate that. Alright. So you can see I'm not shy putting an amount in here, copious amounts. Okay.
Here, go.
It's now nicely sealed. Next thing is to put the flashing back on. And just like beforehand, it's just a few pop rivets. So this one goes in like that. There we go. So that's there. One. There we have it. Almost bling-like, really. Okay. Now, next step is to apply the butyl mastic on the window frame. So I'm not using the top because we're going to be applying quite a bit. So we're trying to find the original holes by hand first. So I'm not screwing it home yet, just enough to get all the okay, I'll just do the top ones here. So I'm now just hand tightening these so I don't get too carried away with the electric drill. So you can see here heaps of bleed out, which is what we want. And on the inside, see if I can get focus for you, you can see how it's also come through. See that? This is perfect. So now what we'll do, just like with the outside, we'll clean up the excess inside here and it'll just be perfect. That should not leak now. So it's been about 20 minutes since we've put this in. And now what we're going to do is effectively just clean it up. So that's what we do. Okay, so I've just scraped off. And now we're going to clean with the terps. Right, so with a rag soaked in terps, you just work your way around and get rid of all the excess. I've left a little bit more of a profile up here on purpose, and we've also put some Sikaflex in here also to minimise leaks that come through those joints. Last little finishing touch, I put the weather seal there, one of those adhesive ones obviously, a Bunnings product, and actually does quite nicely. See if I tighten that in. Same here. A nice seal. So put these back in. Yeah, so that was pretty much a straightforward job. There was a couple of little things we had to be mindful of, but all in all it's not that difficult. And this is the same process that I'm going to be using for the remaining windows. So as always, thanks for watching.